You're here with the boys for the Houston Outlaws post-game press conference, and we're going to be answering your questions. Let's get started.
All right, so the first question is, what do you think of Boston's attack strategy on Hanamura?
I think that it was pretty standard stuff, but we had actually prepped very hard for Hanamura. We kind of prepared for every eventuality that we thought Boston might pull out. We had plans and positions for a Genji dive. We had plans for a Widow, and so it was like a pretty standard play, but we had already like stratted for it, so it was no problem.
How do you guys rate this meta in terms of how fun it is to play?
I think this meta is still really developing, so we don't really know exactly what it is just yet. Like, don't take the matches you see right now as, this is what it's going to be off stage, because I think a lot of teams are still learning and developing. But I think for us, that process of learning and developing is what we really enjoy about the game. Like the process of adapting and changing and just playing the game perfectly for what it is in any given patch or against any given team. And I think, so right now for us, this is like the first new meta that we've played. So we played the last meta. That was like our first meta as a team. But now we're like all adapting together as a team. And I think that process has been like super fun. So I can't really speak to the whole meta, but I just think like the process of adapting and like learning from each other has been like really, really good for us.
Since Jeff Kaplan confirmed Symmetra is likely getting a major rework, how would you like to see it done / what would make her usable?
I think Symmetra needs a gun rework, like an actual gun, not one that's like hits not lock on, kind of a gun that takes skill.
The problem is that the two fire modes, like one of them is incredibly simple to use, and it requires like just almost no aiming skill, honestly. It just requires you be like close enough to them. And the other one is the other like mode, the orbs, is incredibly weak against high skill players because they're so easy to just dodge and just simply walk around the spam that it makes her damage super inconsistent. And since she relies so much on the structures that she builds, if she can't get that damage and she can't get the structure, you're just playing at an absolutely massive disadvantage. So I think she needs a rework that allows high skill players to, use some difficult techniques to get a lot of value. I think right now she's in a place where very, very strong players simply don't lose to her. So, she really has no place in high-level play. I think she needs a rework that allows, more skill, honestly, to be employed in a way that makes her more effective. It doesn't seem like that's available with her current kit.
Actually, I don't like the building, thing in Overwatch. I think it's really hard to balance that, and I think it's even Torbjorn is it's really hard to make it work in high level play, and I don't think it's a really hard thing to make it work, and I think they should rework that as well. They should maybe remove it or change it. Yeah.
Total redesign.
Yeah, I would say that in general, just the idea of static defenses in games like this are really hard to balance because they're inherently kind of not fun to play against. So if you make them too strong, it's they also don't miss. So it's it's hard to balance it. So definitely a rework is needed.
How do you guys keep focus going into the fourth game with the set already 3-0?
I think that we look at how we got into the Stage 1 playoffs, and it's map differential matters so much. There was a certain thing that Boston needed to win 3-1 if they wanted to get in, and they were down 2-2, and they knew they weren't in, and we just had to win, period, because we had such a different map differential. So we, just going back to the series today, Jake brought it up that look what brought us to the Stage 1 playoffs. Every map counts. Every map matters, so don't lay off of them when it's, we're winning. We already won the series 3-0. We want to get 4-0s, and we also want to, do what we did in Stage 1, and we want to go for that streak again. I'm pretty sure everyone wants to get that streak again because, that felt really good, and we want to beat it. We want to get 20,
All right, this question will be the last for you guys. Hey, Outlaws, who's the most fatherly and who is the most motherly of all the players on the team?
That's so easy. I got the same answer.
All right. So fatherly and motherly is Boink. Boink is the father and the mother of our team. He takes care of
Boink.
Boink.
I think fatherly actually Tyrone.
Player.
Oh, player.
Boink.
Yeah, Boink too, but we need like someone who's specific. We need someone who's specific, like fodder and.
Kumat's a good dad, I think.
Yeah, I think Kumat. I would say Kumat. I would say Kumat or Clockwork.
keeps us honest.
Yeah, Kumat dad and mother Boink.
I think Boink for both, honestly. Boink, he likes to assume that like support role in game and out of game. He's the guy that like if you need something done, someone to like carry something, like move something around your house, like he'll be there in 5 minutes to walk your dog. He's there. Boink, he loves to help. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I agree. He just loves to help.
Loves
He's
to
always
help.
there.
Loves to help.
He's got us all written down in his journal. You know, things he has to remind us of, like help us along the day.
I think one thing about Boink is that a lot of people don't know is that he's, I would say mechanically, just like from watching him play, watching other people play, I don't think there's anybody who's really close to him from a mechanical perspective on Lucio. Most people really just don't play the Lucio role the same way. They just don't really think about the amount of fragging potential that they have. There's a couple players, I think, who understand that they can, put out some aggression and take some fights. But I've never seen a player as high skill as Boink, like, and as disciplined and conservative and as like more focused on the support role. He's not running in there and fighting, even though he's like the best Lucio in the game at doing that, exactly that, running in and fighting. He'll only do it when it's the perfect play. Like his mindset is still to support the team, despite that he has this incredible ability. And I think that puts him in like a tier of his own on Lucio. And in real life, I think that same energy comes through. That he's very talented, he's very like skillful, could bring a lot, but his focus is always on the team. How can I support the team? And that goes in game, that's out of game. He's just a great guy.
All right, that's it for you guys.
We do love Boink. Who doesn't love Boink? It's not
It'll be interesting to see who Boink says is the mother and father. The next question is, in Game 3 of the match, whose call or idea was it for Linkser to change to Mei? By the way, very smart play.
I literally didn't tell anyone that I would go Mei, and I just picked it.
We discussed playing Mei. That is just
It was a troll. I was trolling.
You got us. Good one.
Wow, good one. Okay, so yeah, basically we discussed that because we saw their player picks, we discussed that I would go Mei at some point. And at the end, the fight is always gonna last forever when everyone's gonna have million ultis in overtime. So Mei is like, you just make sure that your backline doesn't die, and you use the Mei walls to just delay the fight, so you get slowly an advantage. It was team talk.
Okay, so I asked this to the other guys too, but we're gonna ask you guys as well. Who's the most fatherly and who is the most motherly of all the players on the team? We'll start with Boink.
I have to go. Okay, does fatherly and motherly mean that I could ship them as a couple? No. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I have to think. I have to think about motherly and fatherly here. Right? So, Kumat's definitely the dad. He is definitely the dad. Just his personality. That's toxic. Yeah. You gotta cut that. I think Mendo's the mom.
Okay.
Yeah. Mendo's definitely a mom. Yeah.
Okay. I'd have to agree, Cool Matt's the dad, but Boink is the mom. Because whenever someone's going, oh, I'm locked out of my apartment, please help me, Boink is there to rescue. He is there.
Always raucous, by the way.
Yeah, I have to agree. Cool Matt is the father, and Boink is the mom.
I'm gonna disagree about Cool Man. I think Linkser's a lot more of a father. Definitely daddy. Boink's definitely the mother. Boink's definitely the mother. But yeah.
All right. The next question is it hard to not get overconfident when you start winning matches like this one with those nutty earth shatters from Muma, 4K tires from Jake and Linkser popping and heading from across the map?
I think that's actually something that we focus on a lot as a team. It's something that our Korean coaches, Taerong and Hyun, they really help enforce on us, is just a really strict level of discipline, and I think that's what allows us to go on such
it's what makes our map differential so high. We're just really what's the word? Just disciplined. We're just disciplined in that when we know we are up 3-0, that we know how much that last map matters. So we're just going to we literally just pretend like the series is still going on, and we need that map to win, and I think it really helps us.
Yeah, I can add something. It's obviously it's great that we have Muma popping off and Jake and Lynx are just killing everybody, but we don't rely on that, right? Like, we don't build our strats to just hope someone can pop off, right? Like,
we better get 9 Earth Shatter or else we're not gonna win.
We build the strats to win systematically, and then we just let our players do whatever they if they're gonna pop off, they're gonna pop off, but we don't rely on it, and I think that's a huge part of our consistency.
Oh, yeah, I think the reason why you see basically everyone pop off is the fact that we are systematic. That's the only reason I can pop off, Jake can pop off, even our supports pop off in terms of how fast they get their ultimates and how they peel and that kind of stuff. It's like teamwork makes people pop off.
Mm-hmm.
The next question is, how do you guys feel about how Philly is performing, and how do you guys think you're going to prepare for your match against them?
After watching Philly's games, I honestly felt like they were similar to Boston in terms of how they play around their Genji, how their Tracer plays, what their backline does. The only difference is in tanks, and we have to pay attention how they play compared to each other. And I think if we just crack how they started engagements, we should have a pretty good time against them.
I'd say they're pretty similar in terms of overall playstyle. I think Boston's definitely a more teamwork-oriented team, and Philly's a high individual skill team. So we'll have to adjust using those factors because Philly has some really good DPS players and overall skill across the board.
It's good enough.
The next question is, how do you guys feel about the Nixel game next week?
Who do we play first, Nixel or Philly?
Nixel,
Really?
I think we play Fusion first. Okay. But I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, we're looking forward to both matches, but we really prefer to take things one at a time, right?
Yeah.
So if Philly's first, we're gunning for entirely Philly. We're not thinking about Nixel. Even if it was like a not as scary team, we would still be 100% focused on them, and as soon as we get that over with, then we can focus on the next team.
We had a lot of practice scrims against Nexel stage 1, but it's gonna be stage 2 is a different beast, and I think the fact that we have to understand we are not probably as comfortable as playing against them as we were in stage 1, and even in stage 1 they were kind of dominant over us. So it's gonna be, next games are gonna be really hard because one team has a lot of momentum, and one team was strong already against us, and now there's the unknown factor too.
All right, and the last question is, can Banny do the outro again?
Sure, guys, I can do the outro. All right, this was the Houston Outlaws post-game press conference. I guess I can say some names. I'm Banny. My name is Banny. This is Boink. This is Lynxer. This is Muma.
4-0.
Hell yeah!
Yeah!
All right, bye guys. Thanks for watching.